Now, between them, my next two guests have taken photos of some incredible A-list names. I'll just pluck a couple random. Al Pacino, Victoria Beckham, numerous members of the royal family, including King Charles. Photographers Cambridge Jones and Hugo Burnand have spent their careers capturing perfect snaps of the world's most rich and famous, long admiring each other's work professionally. Well, this week, they've turned their lenses on each other, launching a brand new podcast, Double Exposure, in which they share their favourite moments, discuss how they go about their job, and open up about their private thoughts on some of the people they've met.
What we're going to do is take you behind the camera to some of the shoots we've done with famous people, share what we've learned, how we approached it, how we got the best picture, what we thought was the best picture, and hopefully you'll learn some stuff along the way.
I might talk about a few everyday things like royal weddings and coronations.
Yes.
Is that okay?
And invite other people in.
Definitely want to do
talk
that.
to.
Who's going to be on number one?
I know Bailey's answering our questions or thinking about them.
David Bailey.
He is.
The
David Bailey.
Well, let's welcome to the show, shall we? The King's portrait photographer, Hugo Burnand, and A-list celebrity photographer, Cambridge Jones. It's a pleasure to have you both on the show. How are you, chaps?
Thank you, Adam. Lovely to be here.
Yeah, Adam, thank you. And that was a really good introduction.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's the best I've heard.
Oh, bless you. Well, very kind, very kind. It's very hard for me not to just basically say to you, go on, drop some names, but I kind of want to start there. So which of your...
Industrial strength name dropping is what we do, Adam.
Yes, if you wouldn't mind, yes. So let's do that then. Which of your photos might we have seen? Who are the biggest names that you've taken photos of?
Well, I'm going to start with the king, and then you can go down from there.
I do a lot of musicians and a lot of prime ministers. So I've done 8 prime ministers, and I was Tony Blair's sort of private Christmas card type family photographer for a long time.
Wow.
And also, when he was in Russia to do a photograph of Putin, a journalist asked him, "Are you photographing Putin?" And Cambridge said, "I can't wait to shoot Putin tomorrow morning." How about that?
And it was in the newspaper the next day, and they nearly had to escort me out.
I was going to say, yeah. Wow. Okay, I love it. So many things that I want to ask about how you go about doing your job. But first of all, in terms of knowing each other, I mean, did your paths ever cross professionally? How long have you been familiar with each other's work?
Once we were at a dinner event, and we studiously did not speak to each other in case we were found out. And so
you see, as photographers, well, certainly me, I have a bit of an imposter syndrome. So if I'm ever actually introduced to another photographer, I try and avoid them in case they ask me a technical question which I don't understand.
Same.
And Cambridge is the same. So it wasn't exactly the most fortuitous meeting, the two photographers standing on the other side of the room ignoring each other.
And I'm not kidding you, Adam. I consciously made sure I did not have to speak to him, because I knew exactly who he was, and I didn't want to be revealed for, the imposter I was, and he was probably thinking the same.
Right.
So it's great to be finally getting to know each other on the podcast.
But what's quite fun is, yes, we are sort of learning about each other while we do the podcast, but it is more of a conversation. It is, as we described it, it's like eavesdropping on at an after party, where Cambridge will do the industrial name dropping, and I'll tell the silly stories.
Brilliant. I love it. It's such a fabulous idea, and you must have so many stories, and I'm sure possibly particularly in your case, Hugo, there are some that you absolutely cannot tell people, but nonetheless.
Yes. Are you tempting me?
I think he can tell us. He just has to kill us then.
Oh, right. He has to shoot us. Yeah.
But actually, we like to be a little loose-lipped, but we will never be unkind.
Yes.
That's not true.
That's
actually.
not entirely true. We have
There's
been
a
a little
certain
bit.
footballer and a certain actor that we might not be so
There's a
kind
film
about.
star we do lay into a little bit, but mostly we're mostly quite kind.
If that's not a tease.
I think the whole point for us of it, and it's really nice to do it, to get to know each other on air, but also to sort of understand photography from another. I'm learning so much from just talking to him, but it's not at all technical, really, although you learn stuff along the way. It's much more kind of human
technical
stuff.
because we've been in the business so long, we don't realize how technical we are. We think we don't know anything, but then when we start talking with each other, we realize we actually know quite a lot. What's an f-stop?
No idea. I actually did say that to somebody sort of as a joke, and they didn't know what an f-stop was, and so the whole joke fell, because f-stop is an aperture thing where you're measuring how much light. You probably know this, Adam, but some listeners
obviously,
might not. And we sort of make a rule that we won't even refer to the aperture on a camera, but we will tell you how we're getting the shoot, how we prepare for it, what do we ask them to say, that kind of stuff.
But also the other thing is, being a photographer is probably one of the most democratic art forms out there, because everyone these days, nearly everyone, has a phone with a camera on it. So everyone thinks, but not everyone thinks they're a sculptor or a baker or an artist or whatever.
Yeah.
So what we do by talking about our experiences and bringing the anecdote to life, we then teach people a little bit of technical stuff, but in a very friendly way. So hopefully, listening to us, they might take something through for their own photography, be it of their family or their friends or their children or whatever. Does that make sense?
Completely, 100%, because you're right. A lot of people think they can do it, but actually doing it for real, and particularly with high-profile clients who have very high expectations, I'm sure, you have to keep to a high standard. One of the things that I'm really intrigued about is royal weddings. So when we got married, our photographer was sort of calling people over randomly for group shots, doing a lot of sort of candid shots and stuff like that. I'm guessing that is completely off limits, and there are very specific rules in that scenario.
We have an episode on this for you, but I'm going to let Hugo answer the question.
When it comes to a very high-profile wedding like that, I am responsible to a degree for taking historical documents, but also taking private family pictures as well. So I'm doing both. And what you want, one of my tips actually for weddings as a photographer is to the bride and groom or whoever's organizing the wedding, don't spend too much time taking various groups, because people only ever really put up 2 wedding photographs in their house. One is of the bride and groom, and the other is the big family formal group, which is like a visual family tree. If you get those 2 photographs together, dispense with all the other time-wasting variations and get those people into informal pictures. Granny with the bride and groom, or the grannies together. It's much more fun, because actually a formal photograph of you and your cousins is pretty dull.
Yeah.
No disrespect to your cousins, Adam.
No, you're probably right, though, in fairness. Yeah, you're probably right. And Cambridge, what about with prime ministers? You say you photographed a fair few. What are they after when you're taking a photo? Do they just basically want you to make them look good? Is that your prime objective?
Yeah, and we've both done quite a few prime ministers, and we do talk about this, because they are basically, we have a different view on this, but my view is that they will give you a very limited range, because they pre-decided the boundaries of what they're prepared to be seen as. So it's not that, for me, it's not that they're vain or they're not wanting to give you more, but they're just being very cautious, and they're not prepared to go out of it. And that's the other thing I shoot a lot of, is actors and musicians. And the further you get away from politicians, actors are a bit more free, and then musicians are totally free. I find it's an interesting.
So who is going to swing on a chandelier?
Yeah, well, not Tony Blair. And although actually Tony Blair's one of the freer of the prime ministers I've worked with, but you can get someone like, Jack White from the White Stripes, and he will give you such creative input.
Yeah.
And an actor is somewhere in the middle, because they are so in control of their body and their smile, and they know exactly what they're doing. So weirdly, they're less free, but they can give you magic if you're working with them.
So on this podcast, on your double exposure, your time together, you've been sitting down sharing some of your incredible stories. Obviously, you've talked about some of the people that you've worked with as well, but also you talk, I notice, about the people that inspire you. And in fact, there are guests that appear in the podcast, so that it proves that, I guess, you're always learning, right? And you're always inspired by other people. There's always someone who you can learn from, even if you are at the top of your game.
I couldn't agree more. And actually, when I started out, someone said to me, "Oh, well, that career will only last a short time. You'll get bored." I have never been bored. And actually, I get more interested every day. And I'm already excited about what we're going to do tomorrow. You literally have no idea where it's going to go. And I did just quickly remind Cambridge, on the way here, I was listening to Lionel Richie singing "Easy on a Sunday Morning" on the radio, and it was BBC by the way. And
Lovely.
he actually sang that song live to me on my birthday on a Sunday morning.
Wow.
That only happened because I was a photographer at a wedding, and the groom told Lionel Richie, by the way, it's our friend Hugo the photographer's birthday on Sunday morning, could you just say happy birthday? Brilliant. So you have no idea where photography is going to take you, and it keeps it more exciting every single day.
Can I just say, I think he got away lightly with someone saying you're going to get bored as a photographer. My wife, when I said I was going to be a photographer, said, yeah, but what are you going to do as a job?
Yeah. Oh, you did get away quite lightly then, I guess.
I think she felt the same about the podcast till she heard it.
Yeah.
You haven't got anything to say, so how's that going to work?
Oh, I love it. It's such a fab idea, and it's a great listen. The podcast Double Exposure is available now wherever you get your podcasts. Cambridge Jones and Hugo Burnand. It's been great to meet you both and to chat. Good luck with that podcast.
Thank you so much, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.